So what did you first think when you read it? Because it's quite...
I loved it, but then
powerful,
I love Chris Lang's stuff. He did A Mother's Son with Hermione Norris and Torm with Holly Aird, and so Chris always writes very sort of emotionally charged, strong
definitely.
sort of women. And I just think, and really, I don't think hardly anything changed in the script from when I read it before I auditioned for it to when we actually shot it.
Wow, so
It was pretty much locked down, and I think that was what was so powerful about it. And I remember reading it and turning to my husband just going, I would give my right arm to play this role, because it was just such an extraordinary part.
It feels like a real story to me.
Oh, good. Well, I think it is. I think, that has...
It's not from it. It's not.
No, it's not. He hasn't based it on anything, but I did do a very small amount of research just in terms of children who'd witnessed a parent's murder and sort of what had the impact. And I think, it is said in the script anyway, so I'm sure Chris did the same, that, quite often they go into... they become mute for quite a few months. They just actually can't speak and they don't communicate. And
is that what has happened to your character as well?
Yeah. So after she witnessed it for several months, she didn't talk, and only several months later was she able to give a description of the guy that did it. But all of that I found quite interesting. It felt like a really strong backstory that Chris had also said that we also spoke about it, so we were all working on the same page in terms of what had happened before this film actually starts, in terms of her having had a breakdown.
Is that quite important to have all that?
I think so, because quite often otherwise you can all as actors make up in your own head what you think is right, and if you're all thinking different things, it can probably slightly affect performances.
So, yeah.
And John, our director, who was amazing, he set aside very specific rehearsal times, one-on-one, and then with certain characters. So Felix, who played my husband, we had some time together. I had some time with Robert Pugh, who plays my dad, time with Pippa, time with Christine, and we all ran the scenes that we were doing and spoke about where we thought.
It's great you've got that time.
It was amazing. It wasn't. Yeah, they are. It was only a case of maybe three days or something, but we had time with Chris, the writer, as well.
There's good tension with all of those people you mentioned.
I honestly thought everyone is just so. I think Felix is amazing in it, who plays my husband. Just such strong performances from everyone.
Yeah. So how do you prepare yourself for what are really emotional scenes like that? Is that do you cry, action,
cry? No, I think for me it comes from the writing, and I think if it's written well, I know it sounds awful, you really don't have to try. You only have to. I think it's also helped.
But
probably.
You do have to try, don't you?
Well, you do have to try, but you have to try and suspend your belief that you are in that moment and you are that person and this is really happening to you. Otherwise, it would never come across as truthful. And I think certainly since having children, there's definitely more of an emotional connection I have. And I love the fact that I was playing a mum, because I can connect with that totally.
Of course,